to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we are doing an exciting video about boosting your digital product sales using this one calculation. I'm going to talk about how you know whether your digital product will be profitable or not, how to avoid losses in your product sales, and also I'm going to cover my top 5 strategies that I use that have helped me optimize my pricing strategy. So let's get started. So whether you are selling digital products on Etsy or you're selling on any other platform like Creative Fabrica, for example, you really need to find the right price that ensures a good return on investment for your time and your expenses as well. So previously when I was selling on Etsy back in 2019, I really was confused. I didn't know how to find the right price to ensure that I was having a good ROI for my time and expenses as well. I had no business knowledge then, and I made the mistake of pricing my products too low. Ouch, that really took a bad turn. And this was until I came across a game-changing solution that ensures my digital products were profitable. And I learned this while studying in business school. Recently, I graduated last year, and we talked about a pricing strategy that's called the contribution margin calculation. Now, let's face it, pricing your products can be really tricky. You don't want to price too high and scare away potential customers, but you also don't want to price too low and barely cover your cost. And it is a delicate balance that you can make or break your business. So it's quite sophisticated, but I'm going to simplify it in this video. And this is where the contribution margin calculation comes in handy. It is a simple yet powerful tool that can help you determine the best price for your digital products, which ensures you cover your costs while making a healthy profit. So let's dive in and see how it works. Step 1 is to gather your cost. Now, to start with the contribution margin calculation, what you do is you gather all the cost of producing and selling your digital products, which include firstly your buying price, which is the cost of purchasing any material or assets you need to create your digital products. Then you've got your fixed costs, which are recurring costs such as software subscriptions, for example, website hosting fees, and any other overhead expenses. And lastly, you have variable cost, which are cost with the that vary with the number of units you sell, such as transaction fees and marketing expenses. Now, ensure you are as detailed as possible. Include all the cost to understand your expenses accurately. It's really essential to clearly understand your cost before moving on to the next step. Now, step 2 is to calculate your contribution margin. So once you have all the cost listed in step 1, it's time to work out the numbers. Suppose you have a digital file that costs €3 to produce, or $3 to produce in this case. Use whatever currency you feel comfortable with, and you've decided to sell it for €10. So it costs you to make it €3 to produce it, and you decided to sell it for 10. Here is an example of the calculation. You've got your selling price, which is €10, minus the expenses, which is $3. Let's say, for example, it cost you $3.55 to produce. Here we've added the fixed cost, the variable cost, and the buying price. Then it equals the profit per cost would be €6.45. This €6.45 is your contribution margin per unit, which represents the money you have left after covering all your costs. It is the contribution each team makes towards covering your fixed costs and generating profit as well. Step 3 is to determine your contribution margin ratio. And the contribution margin ratio, what it is a percentage that indicates the proportion of your selling price that represents your contribution margin. In order to calculate it, you divide your contribution margin by your selling price, and then you multiply it by 100. So using the example that we just talked about, your contribution margin was €6.45. Your selling price was €10. Your contribution margin ratio, we take the €6.45, we divide it by the selling price, which is €10, and we times it by 100. We have 64.5%. And this tells you that 64.5% 50% of your selling price covers your costs and generates profit. The higher your contribution margin ratio, the more you're keeping as profit. Step 4 is to set your sales goal. Now think about how much you want to earn from your digital files, how many units you realistically expect to sell. So for example, let's say you want to make 400 euros per month, working 5 hours per day, 5 days a week. This is just an example, and you estimate that you sell a maximum of 60 units per month based on your capacity. Step 5 is to evaluate your capacity utilization rate and calculate the percentage of your actual sales compared to your maximum sales capacity in order to determine your capacity utilization rate. And this will show you how efficiently you are utilizing your production capacity, how effectively are you utilizing your time. For example, if the actual sales is 30 units per month, you're saying, for example, 30 ebooks per month, based on your estimate, your maximum sales capacity is 60 units per month based on your capacity. And in order to calculate the capacity utilization rate, we need to take the actual sales divided by the maximum sales capacity. So in this case, the actual sales with 30 units divided by the maximum sales capacity, which is 60 units, and we times it by 100 and we get 50%. And this tells you that you are utilizing 50% of your production capacity to generate sales. Now remember this as you set your sales goal and adjust your pricing strategy. And step 6 is to adjust your pricing for maximum profit. And this is where we talk about my favorite 5 strategies that I use that help me to optimize my pricing strategy. First of all, increase your sales price. If your contribution margin is low, consider increasing your selling price to boost your profit. Don't be afraid to charge what your digital files are really worth. Strategy number 2 is to reduce your costs. This is opposite to strategy number 1. So in this case, you look for ways to reduce your cost without compromising for quality. Negotiate better deals with for example, suppliers. In this case, if you are using any other platform other than Amazon KDP, then you can also kind of play around with that. Optimize your variable cost or minimize unnecessary expenses. Strategy number three is to bundle your products. Now, this is extremely relevant if you are selling, for example, on Etsy, if you're selling on Creative Fabrica or any other platform, you do have the option to bundle your products. Consider creating bundles or packages to increase the perceived value of your digital files and encourage customers to purchase them more. What this does is it helps you generate more sales and increases your overall profit as well, and you might even get new customers that way. Another strategy is to offer limited time promotions, and I use this strategy for my Creative Fabrica store. It's been running in a great way since I've used the limited time promotions. And what that does is it creates a sense of urgency by offering limited time promotions or discounts, and this works to entice customers to buy, and this can help you generate quick sales and increase your revenue. You can offer limited time promotions based on different events, for example, and create a bundle. For example, for Mother's Day we've got coming up on May the 8th. You can create a Mother's Day bundle, and plus on top of that you will utilize the two strategies, which is bundling your products and offering limited time promotion, and then you will maximize your sales that way. And the last, fifth strategy to optimize the pricing strategy is to monitor your sales performance. So I want you to keep a close eye on your sales performance and adjust it as needed. If you're not meeting your sales goal, revisit your pricing strategy, make necessary changes to improve your results. Pricing your digital products files can be challenging, I know, but with the contribution margin calculation and a strategic approach, you can optimize your pricing strategy for maximum profit. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you on board. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.